Sonic the Hedgehog 3 officially releases on digital tomorrow, and with that, we are starting to get a bunch of behind the scenes on the movie. Deleted scenes that thankfully were not erased from time because they gave us this.
Welcome to the big reveal. I hope you can deal with all this riz.
When I think of you guys watching my videos, I hope that's what you look like. But kind of most importantly, and what we're going to end up talking about here, is we got some concept art of deleted scenes that were supposed to be in Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and now give us some real context to what could be happening in Sonic Movie 4. So please, put your finger on the button and hit subscribe, along with your theories on what you think is happening with these scenes, because they could easily mean nothing when it comes to Sonic Movie 4. Okay, yes, so out of nowhere, we got revealed concept art of things that were planned to be used in the third Sonic movie. Just to give you a little context to this, concept art is usually always made just to give an idea of some of the things that'll be going down in the movie, but often than not, a lot of those things end up looking slightly different when actually put into the film. Case in point, like Eggman was originally supposed to be found in Mexico, and that would give us a better idea why Robotnik had been spending his time watching novellas. The movie also went as far as to create its own novella for the film, but he was looking to be watching Will Ferrell's Casa de mi Padre, a movie where Will Ferrell does entirely in Spanish with his own voice.
Do you speak American?
No, señor. No habla americano.
Side note, it was awful. Moving on, there was also sequences that looked like they were going to be part of the movie but ended up getting deleted. We don't know if this is because of budgetary reasons. Remember, this movie had to stop filming because of the Hollywood strike, and then they ended up filming all the CGI character scenes first and then later went back to the human characters. And so we have this moment here of Knuckles and Tails, who look to be in Paris, running away from a giant ball of debris. A lot of people have pointed out the similarities to in Sonic Generations. There was a similar ball of debris that was the form of Silver. So this scene could have been taken out maybe because they'd rather use it in a film where Silver is being used. I also just can't get over how beautiful a lot of this concept art is. And it's nice that a lot of these scenes did translate well to film, although would have been funny to see Commander Wallers get shot and killed while he was wearing a Chow hat. Best way to die. But getting specifically now to the scenes we're talking about that give context, it looks like there was supposed to be a part of Sonic 3 that was going to feature Sonic traveling to a timeline where Eggman is ruling Earth alongside Metal Sonic. Alright, so my mind immediately went to, how would this have fit into the movie? How would this have made sense? And the only logical explanation I could really come to is that this was maybe the original post-credit scene they had in mind for the third movie. Because thinking about everything that happens in Sonic 3, I don't think you could have had the third act be Sonic travels to the future where Eggman is now Emperor. That's a lot of story, and that's such a huge tease. No wonder it was just taken out of the movie. This much more feels like a post-credit scene, and there's a couple of reasons they could have gotten rid of it. One, you would then really be implying, for sure, Jim Carrey then is coming back for Sonic Movie 4, and the man's still up and down. He wants to do some movies, wants to take breaks, but even in interviews for Sonic 3, he said he'd be open to what they do for Sonic 4, but that is not a guarantee he'd be back, and we're already so lucky the man did a full trilogy for us. So that could have been a reason it went away. It also looks like it'd be an insanely expensive post-credits scene, because just look at everything they'd probably have to animate. A CGI post-apocalyptic world, Metal Sonic, and all this other memorabilia that we're going to get into in a sec. Because that then brings us into the second photo that shows off Sonic getting saved by Amy in this post-apocalyptic timeline, because you could see again wasted buildings in the background, and her having destroyed one of Eggman's robots that looks like it was about to attack Sonic. Still, such a cool idea. This really does make me wonder if the theories people had of the post-credit scene from Sonic 3 was that maybe Sonic not only ran so fast he ended up in New York, but he accidentally ran so fast he ended up in the future. Because in the post-credit scene, that's literally how Amy also shows up, defeating a robot to save Sonic's life, and her hammer up on her back. Oh, we also gotta mention, this one doesn't include Amy in a brown robe, so this could be your first look to what Amy ends up looking like in live action in terms of her clothes and boots, and I really do dig this look. But okay, now seeing both of those there, and knowing we're already confirmed to get Sonic Movie 4 in 2027, well, it looks like this could fill in the gaps of some of the questions we had with the post-credit scene we did get at the end of the third movie. For one is, we don't know who built Metal Sonic. Yes, the video games has it that Robotnik did it, but you know, we have to talk about the elephant in the room, and that Sonic 3 ended with Robotnik redeeming himself, becoming a good guy, even saving the Earth. With that looking to be the way the movie ended, it doesn't really then make sense to give us a timeline where Eggman went bad. Also, if we're supposed to think he's dead. And really, it's the way Eggman redeemed himself and gave a really heartfelt goodbye that makes me feel like Emperor Eggman might not end up being the thing we get in this movie. That also brings us to the alternate deleted ending from Sonic Movie 3. This is a leak that happened so early into the making of Sonic 3. It was so early, I didn't even make a video or talk about it because it was the actual ending for the movie just flat out spoiled. I had to pretend and ignore like I never saw it, but the idea did get changed. In that concept art, it showed Eggman and Shadow attempting to save the ship before it explodes, but instead of it exploding, it looks more like they maybe time traveled. So if that was the original ending and then this was the post-credit scene, it looks like it would have told us that Eggman ended up in the future, and being there, he decided to rule, become emperor, and now Amy's going back in time to find Sonic. The only people that seem to consistently stop Eggman. I guess that does kind of make sense. Imagine a future where Sonic isn't there, Eggman does win. So again, now that we know what the actual ending looks like and that Eggman has a more heartfelt goodbye that kind of closes on the character, would it make sense then if he time traveled in the future and that's where he's at, he still decided, well, hey, I saved the Earth, so I deserve to rule it? Maybe? Maybe. Whatever it ends up being, I think then this does confirm we will see Metal Sonic be created by Eggman, and he was just probably a contingency he had in the background. Something I'm not seeing a lot of Sonic fans point out with this concept art is if you really zoom in on Eggman, the staff he has, it's not smoking yellow. He has himself a golden quill from when Sonic goes super. Could that end up being the source of why he has gotten so powerful enough that he can overtake Earth? There was a really small scene in Sonic 3 after Sonic goes super that then the quill Eggman was carrying the whole movie also ends up going super. But with that kind of logic, I would assume the quill goes back to normal when Sonic loses his superpowers, but maybe it stayed. A super quill also maybe being the thing that powers Metal Sonic, that would make him a very worthy adversary. But to me though, I feel like this answers a lot more questions I had about Amy, because I was for sure thinking after seeing that post-credit scene that Amy must also be from the future or have some sort of knowledge in the future, because how did she also randomly know Sonic would be at that exact spot in New York in the middle of the night to save him? So in the movie universe, it looks like Amy could end up being a character from the future, and I think that's kind of epic. We all thought that role would go to Silver, and yeah, there's no doubt about it. Silver is somewhere down in the cards, whether introduced in Sonic 4, or he'll be the post-credit scene of Sonic 4 leading to Sonic 5 after all these time travel shenanigans. I think that's the best way to do it and gives them more ideas. And look, director Jeff Fowler knows fans want Silver.
All right, well, thank you so much for your time. And I've got to tell you real quick, my daughter said she needs Silver next. So that's
there's
what
a
she
lot
wants.
of Silver fans out there. She's
Yes.
not alone.
All right, thank you
Tell her
so much.
we'll take it into consideration for sure.
This has also led a lot of people to bring up the Sonic CD comparisons, the introduction of Metal Sonic and Amy, going to a world that is ruled by Eggman. Yeah, a lot of comparisons there, but I still don't know if they'd introduce something like the Time Stones. I also wouldn't put it past them just building some sort of time machine that Tails has a part of. They could say the Chaos Emeralds just have the ability to power their time machine or something. All I'm saying is there's options there. But yeah, this basically letting us know that we're going to be having a plot that revolves around Amy telling Sonic of a bad future and what they have to do to stop it. If Jim Carrey decides to come back, great. Well, then we know we can expect Emperor Eggman with a golden quill. If Jim Carrey doesn't, then that lets them open the doors a lot more that maybe Metal, which I'd honestly be more open to. His AI just comes to life and he ends up being the thing that rules in the future that they have to stop. Only time will tell, but hey, given already our first little sneak peek at what could be going down in Sonic 4, yeah, baby, this is a good time. Let me know, you Sonic fans' thoughts and theories from all this. How you think they can include Silver, or should they push Silver till 5? Anything, everything, be sure and like, subscribe. Follow me on Twitter at 3C Films or on TikTok at 3C Films. But as always, I'm Chris. Take care.